So we mentioned Bing advertising, or Microsoft Ads might be the more official name for it. The big news there is they're going to be replacing manual CPC. CPC stands for cost per click, with enhanced CPC by the end of April 2021. And these are referring to bidding strategies. So, there's manual CPC. So this is kind of considered a non-automated bidding strategy. Enhanced CPC it's kind of like a mix of manual and automated. This is kind of the way I see it, Sarah, and you can probably dive into this a little bit more detail, but you have some kind of automation around it, some kind of AI incorporation to how it's doing its thing. But the big thing that I'm taking from this, just kind of like getting kind of straight to my point, is removing the capability to use manual bidding strategies. That seems pretty big to me. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, and it has marketers really worried about the amount of control that they have with their ads, which is understandable. But one thing to also note, and I don't know the exact percentage, but I know that maybe half, if not more, of people using Bing don't actually use the Bing platform. I'm sorry, Microsoft Ads don't actually use the Microsoft Ads platform as often as they use the integration from Google Ads to Microsoft Ads. You can put that on a schedule. You can do that so that they're automatically migrating your changes that you make in your Google Ads over to your Microsoft Ads. And in doing that, the Bing ads don't really, a lot of the time, get as much care or as much one-on-one attention as your Google Ads might. So because of that, they kind of lose their validity to keep up with the other ads in maybe the competitors' ad groups on Microsoft Ads. And because of that, Microsoft just isn't making as much money for their ads because you may not be meeting their keyword requirements.
For Microsoft.
So that being said, having that, well, actually, I forgot to actually talk about your first point, David, which is the difference between the manual CPC and the ECPC, which is if you are likely to be a qualified candidate for that search term, but your bid doesn't quite make it, the ECPC will kind of bump up your bid a little bit so that you do make it, so that you do have a high enough bid to make that search term. And going back to what I was saying earlier, if you're manually migrating and making it so that, okay, these bids, I'm changing the keyword bid when it goes to Microsoft, I'm changing it by 50% less. A lot of the time when that happens, especially when you're not giving the one-on-one attention to the Microsoft ads that you maybe would with your Google ads, you may not, like I said, be making the mark. So with Microsoft implementing the ECPC, it can kind of take a little more control with that. And my guess is that people are going to profit more off their Bing ads with this. Sorry, Microsoft ads with this method. But it does create the illusion of them losing control, and in some respects they might. And if you do notice that you are spending more than you want to with your Microsoft ads, you can also just make sure that you're keeping your budget at a reasonable level, and Microsoft won't go over that.
I guess in some respects it's coming down to like how much do people want to trust the machine, like this is the kind of the cynical side of me comes out. I try and keep it bottled up, but I really can't. Big corporation wants people to have more of their ads get clicked on as part of their ad network. Like it's not really a feel-good headline,
I mean, some of the reasons behind why these things are happening are understandable. But yeah, I think on the surface, a lot of these do sound malicious, and I'm not necessarily saying that some of them are not, but I think once you dive into it and you understand the reasons behind it, then it does seem to make a little more sense why these things are happening.
All that aside, I think the idea of enhanced cost per click, because Google has this too, right? It's got manual. I'm waiting to see if the other shoe drops. Got Microsoft shoe and Google shoe. Is Google going to do this next? Google has been testing out the you were testing kind of like the removal of enhanced text ads, right, in favor of their responsive text ads, which, we've talked about that in the past. The idea is like your standard text ads, you get headlines, descriptions, and stuff. You make them. Google has this just interesting tool where you can make responsive ads where you just provide, here's a bunch of headlines, here's a bunch of descriptions, here's the landing page. Make something, Google. Google uses its system to see like which combinations get the most traction and just starts showing them more often. That's actually kind of neat. I mean, I like using it for research and things like that sometimes. But again, like often I like having a lot of control because Google doesn't provide a lot of transparency into some of that I wish it did. Like what is the click-through rate on some of these? It shows impressions, but not the click-through rate on specific combinations. And I imagine it's because they probably don't want people to get the secret sauce. Like, all right, well, now I know which ad to use. I'll just enhance text ad. Google probably wants more control because it feels like it can use its algorithm to get more clicks happening. And I feel like, Microsoft is doing it kind of the same thing. Ultimately, people want clicks, but, within the parameters that they're comfortable with, I would say. So I'm a little divided on it. I'm not like this isn't all bad or this is all good. I'm somewhere in the middle. I like having control where I know what I'm doing. And if I don't, or I can't manage that degree of control, yeah, I like using the automated things too. So I guess at some level, I'll see where it goes and see what's in store.
Hi, this is Sarah from Denverdata Web. Thanks for watching. Please like our video and subscribe for future digital strategy chats. You can also visit our website at denverdata.com or find us on social media at Denverdata Web.